Welcome back. And actually, following over the situation in Gaza, we're going to be unfolding more details over what's happening in Gaza. And of course, as soon as we get into a phone call with our guest over the phone, we're going to be discussing more details about the situation. Of course, as we all know, that Egypt is continuing to flow the humanitarian aid, airdropping humanitarian aid together with other countries over the Gaza Strip. As we all know, that unarmed innocent civilians are stranded inside the Strip ever since the 7th of October, almost for 7 months now. With us is His Excellency Ambassador Gamal Bayoumi, former Assistant Foreign Minister. Good morning, Ambassador Bayoumi.
Good morning, how are you?
Happy Easter to you, sir.
And to all of us. Thank you.
Of course, our pleasure, sir. So it's overwhelming, the demonstrations in Manhattan, New York, and all over the states of the United States, and in Europe also. Even the Jews, as we in a recent telephone call with Your Excellency before, we discussed that even Jews in New York are demonstrating against the genocidal crimes and the brutality of the Israeli occupation and the ongoing bombardment, illegal bombardment over the innocent unarmed civilians. How do you describe the demonstrations by students in many universities and the passion and the anger of the young people in the United States? I mean the people of the United States, not the government, against those genocidal crimes.
It is a positive development around us concerning the information system. Everybody has in his pocket now his newspaper, his telephone, his television, and we can see immediately what is happening and the killing process taking place in Gaza and in Palestine. So, of course, we are living in a world with many wise people who deny and refuse to see this without rejecting. And here is the result that you are seeing everywhere, those who are rejecting what is happening against the Palestinians. Even some very wise Jews, because Jews are human beings also. And among them, of course, there are people who are thinking about the future of Israel. No future for a country like that, which is killing people around them, which is making all its border an enemy border, whether with Syria, with Lebanon, with Jordan, with Egypt, and among all, making 7 million enemies within the country itself. So, which future they expect? So, this is not wise at all. That's why you will find that even the Jewish community everywhere is reacting against this.
I wanted to talk to you or focus over the strength of demonstrations and those young people, the students in universities all over the United States speaking up and objecting to this brutality. I mean, on their own, as a strong response. How have that affected the government of the United States and the decision makers, and even the Congress? As we have seen, scores of Democrats in the U.S. House on Friday, they urged President Joe Biden to hold the arms sales to Israel if they do not correct the war conduct against the Palestinians. So, do you see enough reaction?
When it comes to the United States, we are facing a very complicated case. While the Congress and the presidency are under the pressure of the voting of the Jewish community and under the pressure of their real interest to keep Israel as a soldier of our area, as a representative of the Western interest. On the other side, the people who read the real news, whether it is in the universities, in the Foreign Office, in the Pentagon, the Ministry of Defense, all of them, they know that this is not in favor of the American interest, or even in the favor of the Israel interest itself. So you will see the thing and the opposite. While the president or the foreign minister is talking about the two-state solution, they are helping Israel with information, with weapons, with $14.5 billion as an assistance. Even in the Congress, 50 congressmen are asking the president to stop helping Israel of this killing war. So you will see the thing and the opposite in the same country, which is the United States, and even in some European countries also. So we have to continue denying what's going on. We have to show by all means what is happening on the international level, and we are gaining points here and there in the United Nations system. On the regional level, where we succeeded totally with the African Union, relative success with the European Union, with the Islamic Conference, which is taking place nowadays, and so on. So the good stand of the Arab position and the Palestinian state is our only weapon now in order to show the whole world what is going on.
Right. Ambassador Bayoumi also talking about another crime that is committed against humanity by the Israeli occupation against the stranded Palestinians inside northern Gaza, which is restricting the food deliveries and halting and besieging the all humanitarian aid that is attempting to reach to the stranded people inside Gaza. They are denying the people inside Gaza to receive even the food and water, and they are cutting off electricity over those people. And even when the government becomes a little bit lenient, I mean the Israeli government, some Zionist protest and they drop the humanitarian aid over the floor, and they just distract the flow of aid into the Gaza Strip. I mean, even a top UN official have warned that a full-blown famine is going to hit northern Gaza very soon, and it's already hitting Gaza. So if you like to elaborate over this,
Yes,
very drastic situation.
I'm not surprised by this, because we are seeing a country with a government which is not wise at all, which is killing directly. 70% of the victims are children, are women, and all people who do not fight anybody. So, and one weapon of killing people, besides destroying their houses, is to make them not having any water, any food, any medicine. So this is another way of killing. It's another crime, and the whole world started to realize that this is a crime by stopping our help to reach the Palestinian in Gaza and in Palestine in general. So it is just a simple killing, and we have to go to the International Court of crime and tell them that this is another crime against the whole world and against the Palestinian people.
Right. But I mean the response of the international community, I mean even if you are waging a war against your enemy, that does not deny him the right for food, access to food, water, electricity, and or I mean basic human rights. I mean this is common knowledge. So when it comes to committing such crimes, there must be some innocent restrictions or innocent reactions taken by international community.
Yes, because you are talking about war, and war has its law. There is the law of war, and we know when we are in the middle of war that we have to behave according to the international law is telling us about wars between different countries. But here it's not a war. This is a process of killing, simple killing against innocent people. So you are dealing with a government which is not abiding to any law. Even the resolution which established Israel by the United Nations in 1947, which is dividing the map of Palestine among the Jews and the Palestinians, they do not abide to it. They do not respect it. They do not respect even the Treaty of Oslo, where they signed with Yasser Arafat to recognize the Palestinian map with the border of June 67. They do not respect all of this. They say that Golan of Syria is part of Israel. They are occupying Jerusalem, all of Jerusalem. They are denying for innocent people to pray in Al-Aqsa Mosque. So this is not a war. This is a killing process with criminal people.
Of course. I mean, we are talking about a community, we're talking about a government or an administration that has been for years and years and years lectured us over about freedom of speech, the necessity of human rights and access to basic rights to humanity at large, worldwide and everything. And today we have seen live scenes over media outlets where police is entering campuses in the US universities and even in France, and they violate the academic sanctuary, and also they violate the basic human rights, the basic freedom of speech, and they arrest the students for demonstrating peacefully. And we have seen that on media outlets all over the social media also, arresting students, innocent students. How
Yes.
do you see that?
You expect to deal with a government. Here we are not dealing with a government. We are dealing with killers and extremists. The problem is that they are not only extremists, because even extremists in many countries, they know how to rule a country. You are dealing with ignorant people who do not know exactly how to run a government. And the proof for this, that one member of this government of Israel has declared a secret which Israel since 30 years ago insists not to declare it, which is that they have an atomic weapon. So he threatened the Palestinians to use the atomic weapon. And this against his own country's interests, of course. Another is playing a bad role in Al-Aqsa Mosque against the prayers. So they are not only extremists, they are not only people who do not abide to any law, but they are ignorant, and we have to deal with this.
Unfortunately, of course, we have to deal with this. The whole world have to deal with this. But also, speaking about the International Criminal Court, there are already more cases that are filed and presented to the International Criminal Court against the crimes, the genocidal crimes of Israel and the brutality. The conduct of the war itself is very, very oppressive. So, of course, very soon expected that the ICC is going to arrest warrants for Israeli, leaders who were involved in the genocide war. And as soon as the Benjamin Netanyahu hears that, every time he hears that phrase, he threatens immediately that he is going to sweep over Rafah and wage more attacks against the innocent civilians inside Rafah. If you'd like to explain that or assess it.
In the normal case, if we have a sort of judgment against people or government, that we expect it to be implemented. No, here with the help of the United States, Israel do not respect any international law, do not respect any treaty, do not respect the treaties which an Israeli government has signed already. So even if we have a sort of a judgment from the international court, they will not abide to it. They will not respect it at all. With the help of the largest power of the world, unfortunately. And this is the reality. And we have to help our Palestinian people to continue resisting this case. And I am quite sure that in the long run, the Palestinians will win their case.
Hopefully, inshallah. We're all full of hope that this is going eventually to happen, because justice is going to take its course, inshallah. Of course, Your Excellency, Ambassador Gamal Bayoumi, you are a former Assistant Foreign Minister. We'd like to thank you so much, sir, talking to us over the breakfast show. And we're going to go to a short break and we'll come to continue the show, so stay with us.